Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a truly lovely poem by Emily Jane Bronte, Mild the Mist Upon the Hill. We'll explore how a simple, misty landscape can bring back such powerful memories and feelings. So, are you ready? Let's begin.
Now, as you all know, this poem is Lesson 6, taken directly from your Class 9 Bliss textbook for the West Bengal Board. So please feel free to follow along as we break it down together and uncover its magic.
You know, to really get the feel of a poem, it always helps to know a little bit about the poet herself, doesn't it? So before we jump into the lines, let's have a quick look at who Emily Jane Bronte was. So Emily Jane Bronte was a fantastic English poet and novelist. Now, most people know her for her one and only novel, the very famous Wuthering Heights. It's an absolute classic. But her poetry is just as powerful. And in this poem, we'll see how she uses the scenery around her to travel back in time, all the way to her childhood. All right, then, let's get into the poem itself. We're going to start with the very first stanza. We'll go through it line by line to really see how Bronte creates such a strong atmosphere with her words. The poem begins, "Mild the mist upon the hill," telling not of storms tomorrow. No, the day has wept its fill, spent its store of silent sorrow. Right away, you can feel the mood she's setting, can't you? It's calm, it's gentle. So what's the first feeling we get here? It's peace, isn't it? The mist is mild. It's not a scary, thick fog. It's gentle. And it's a sign that tomorrow isn't going to be stormy. It's a sign of calm. Now, let's look at that line. The day has wept its fill. It's such a beautiful way of putting it. Can a day actually cry? Well, no, of course not. This is a literary device we call personification, giving human qualities to something that isn't human. It makes us feel that the sadness, the rain is over. And your textbook's word nest helps us here. Fill simply means to make full. So the day has cried its full share of tears. The rain is done. The silent sorrow has been spent. There's nothing left but peace. And it's this quiet, peaceful scene that acts as a trigger. Watch what happens next. The poem takes a very sudden and important turn from the present moment into a memory. And just like that, the mist sends her straight back in time. Did you notice that word, oh? It shows that sudden rush of feeling, you know? It's not something she decided to do. The memory just washed over her, and suddenly she is a child again. And where does this memory take her? Not just to any random place, but to a very specific, safe place, her childhood home, under the safety of her father's sheltering roof, right there by the old hall door. It just goes to show how our memories are so often tied to feelings of safety and comfort. Now, you might have noticed a curious little word here, neath. Poets often use these kinds of shortened words to keep the rhythm of the poem flowing nicely. So any guesses what neath is short for? That's right, it's in your word nest. It's simply a poetic way of saying beneath. So she's remembering being safe and sound beneath her father's roof. The word itself feels so cozy and sheltered, doesn't it? Okay, so in these next few lines, the poet does something really clever. She's been in the past, in her memory, and now she gently brings us and herself back to the present, connecting that old feeling to the new scene. See how she says, "I watch this cloudy evening fall"? That one word, this, pulls us right back to the present moment. She's watching the very same day that sparked the memory come to a peaceful end. And what a beautiful image to come back to. She doesn't just see mist, she sees blue mists, sweet mists. Can you feel how gentle and pleasant that is? They're covering the distant mountains. It's just lovely. Now, here's a word we probably don't use every day, pall. Based on how it's being used here, the mist is covering the mountains. What do you think it could mean? Well, let's look at our word nest again. A pall is a thick cloud. So can you just picture it? The sweet, blue mist is lying over the mountains like a soft, thick blanket. What a perfectly peaceful image to leave us with. So, after looking so closely at these first 10 lines, what are the big ideas we should remember? Let's do a quick recap of the main points. Okay, so first, we've learned that the mist isn't scary. It's a symbol of peace after the rain, which she calls a silent sorrow. Second, we've seen how something in nature, just a bit of mist, can unlock a really powerful memory. For her, that memory is of childhood, which she remembers as a time of complete safety. And finally, the real genius here is how the poem connects a feeling she has today to a special place from her past.
And so I'll leave you with this thought. For Emily Bronte, the trigger was the mist. What about for you? Maybe it's the smell of the earth after the first rain, or a particular song you hear on the radio. What sight or sound or smell from today can take you back to your own days of youth? It's something interesting to think about. Thank you for joining me today.